The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 1990, became an iconic show that brought laughter, heart, and unforgettable moments to millions of viewers. Will Smith's breakout role transformed him into a global superstar, and the ensemble cast captured our hearts with their hilarious and relatable performances. But what happened to the cast after the show ended? In 2025, we take a closer look at their lives. Many of their stories are marked by tragedy, from struggles with addiction to untimely deaths. Join us as we revisit the lives of the Fresh Prince stars and uncover the emotional journeys they've faced since the show wrapped. James Avery, who portrayed Philip Banks from 1990, became a defining father figure on television, but his real life was touched by personal sorrow. He was married to Barbara Avery for decades, yet the couple had no children, something that deeply pained him, as he longed for a larger family he never had. Although his role in The Fresh Prince brought him immense fame, it also boxed him into the wise authority figure, limiting his career in dramatic roles he craved. Avery lived comfortably in a beautiful house in Glendale, California, and drove a classic Mercedes-Benz, leaving behind an estate valued at about $3 million. His later years were marked by health struggles and frustration over an acting career he felt had been unfairly narrowed. Adding to his heartache, he lost several close friends within a short time, deepening his feelings of isolation. James Avery passed away on December 31, 2013, at the age of 68, from complications following open-heart surgery. Sherman Hemsley, who portrayed Judge Carl Robertson/George Jefferson in 1992, experienced both massive fame and profound loneliness. Never marrying and having no children, he lived a solitary life in his El Paso, Texas, home, far from the Hollywood spotlight. His brief appearance on The Fresh Prince rekindled nostalgia for the Jeffersons, but it also emphasized how much he had been typecast, limiting later career opportunities. Hemsley's estate, including his modest home and a classic Lincoln Town car, was valued at about $3 million. His later life was marred by bitter disputes, including a highly publicized legal battle over his remains after his death. Two tragic themes haunted him: estrangement from family and public speculation about his private life, which he fiercely guarded. Sherman Hemsley died on July 24, 2012, from superior vena cava syndrome, at the age of 74. Virginia Capers, who played Hattie Banks in 1990, carried a heavy burden of personal sacrifice behind her dignified public image. She devoted her life to acting and never married or had children, a choice that left her battling loneliness in her final decades. Though The Fresh Prince gave her a beloved role late in life, it could not erase years of feeling marginalized as a black actress fighting for meaningful parts. Capers lived modestly in Los Angeles in a humble home and drove a well-worn Cadillac. Her estate, worth about $500,000, was left to distant relatives. She faced tragedies such as the early death of her mother and years of financial instability during the quieter periods of her career. Toward the end, she suffered quietly from health issues and depression, feeling forgotten by an industry she once helped shape. Virginia Capers died on May 6, 2004, from pneumonia, at the age of 78. Jon Amos, who portrayed Fred Wilkes in 1994, spent much of his life juggling fame and personal heartbreak. Though The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air revived his popularity, it came too late to repair the damage fame had done to his private life. He endured a painful divorce from his wife Noelle, leaving emotional scars that strained his relationships with his children, Shannon and Casey, and isolated him during his later years. Two significant tragedies marked his life: the sudden death of a younger brother and financial ruin from failed business investments. Amos owned a house in Inglewood, California, and a small collection of classic cars. His total estate was valued at around $2 million. After his death, his house was sold, and his belongings were divided among his children. Despite his tough image on screen, Jon lived quietly, burdened by regrets he rarely spoke about. He passed away on August 21, 2024, at the age of 84 due to natural causes, leaving behind a bittersweet legacy of resilience and loss. William Court, who appeared as Headmaster Wallace Thorvald in 1990, had a career that never quite lived up to his potential. Despite a few notable roles, including his time on The Fresh Prince, Court struggled with personal demons, including a failed marriage that left him without children. Court lived alone in a modest Los Angeles home and drove an older BMW, his estate valued at about $200,000. Though he had some successes, his career never truly flourished, and his personal life remained marked by regret over his inability to achieve lasting happiness. The tragic loss of his parents early in life, coupled with a long battle with cancer, cast a shadow over his final years. Court's financial struggles and health issues meant that his estate was minimal at the time of his death. He passed away on September 23, 1993, at the age of 57, from cancer, leaving behind a quieter legacy of what might have been. Helen Paige Camp, who portrayed Margaret Firth in 1990, was an actress who faced both professional disappointment and personal loss. Camp had a passion for acting but never found lasting love, as her marriage ended in divorce, and she had no children. Her role in The Fresh Prince was a fleeting moment of recognition, but it came too late to reignite her career. Camp spent her final years living quietly in a small Los Angeles home, with her estate valued at around $300,000, which included personal belongings and her modest property. She struggled with health issues in her later years, including a stroke that ultimately claimed her life. Camp also dealt with the emotional weight of losing her parents early, something that left her with a sense of deep sadness. Helen Paige Camp passed away on August 1, 1991, at the age of 60, after suffering a stroke, leaving behind a legacy of quiet perseverance amid personal tragedies. Alfonso Ribero, who portrayed Carlton Banks from 1990, experienced the double-edged sword of fame early. While the role gave him enduring recognition, it also trapped him in a comedic image he struggled to outgrow, causing years of professional frustration. His first marriage to Robin Stapler ended in a difficult divorce, though they share a daughter named Sienna. He later found more happiness with Angela Unkrich, with whom he has 3 children, Alfonso Jr., Anders, and Ava. Ribero owns a comfortable Los Angeles home, a few luxury SUVs, and has an estimated net worth of $7 million. Yet, the scars from his stalled acting ambitions and the pressure of supporting a large family have weighed heavily on him. 2 personal tragedies, career typecasting and losing close friends to early deaths, left Ribero often questioning the price of fame. Now 53, he hosts television shows but quietly carries the burden of a career that never fully reached the heights he once dreamed of. Will Smith, who played Will Smith from 1990, achieved global superstardom but privately faced many inner battles. The role defined his early career, yet the pressures of public life caused deep fractures in his personal world. His marriage to Sherry Zampino ended bitterly despite the birth of their son Trey, and his later marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith, though enduring, has been publicly rocked by scandals and separation rumors. Will owns several multi-million-dollar properties, including a massive Calabasas estate, and a fleet of luxury vehicles like Rolls-Royces and Teslas, contributing to his estimated $350 million fortune. Yet behind the wealth are 2 haunting tragedies: unresolved trauma from an abusive childhood and bouts of depression that nearly derailed his career. Now 56, Will continues to chase creative fulfillment while trying to heal the personal wounds that success could never erase, living a life split between luxury and painful introspection. Joseph Marcel, who played Jeffrey Butler from 1990 in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, is a man whose polished exterior masked deep personal sadness. Although his role as the witty butler earned him lifelong recognition, it also trapped him in typecasting that limited future opportunities. Marcel married twice, but neither marriage brought lasting happiness. His second wife left after years of quiet resentment. He has 2 children, a son named Ben and a daughter named Jessica, with whom he maintains a complicated, sometimes strained relationship. Despite owning a comfortable home in Banstead, Surrey, valued at about $800,000, and having some personal savings and antiques, his estate remains modest, estimated around $1.5 million. Joseph faced serious health scares in his 60s and battled depression quietly, never letting the public see his inner turmoil. Now at 76 years old, Marcel lives a mostly secluded life, occasionally appearing at small theater productions, carrying both pride and regret for a career defined by one unforgettable role. Tatiana Ali, who played Ashley Banks from 1990, faced the harsh realities of growing up under the unforgiving eye of Hollywood. While adored during the series, she struggled afterward to find meaningful adult roles, leading to periods of self-doubt and quiet depression. Her marriage to Vaughn Raspberry, while loving, has weathered its own challenges, especially after a painful miscarriage before the birth of their second son, Alejandro. Together they raised their 2 sons, Edward and Alejandro, balancing family life with demanding careers. Ali owns a modest house in Los Angeles, a few investments, and holds a net worth around $4 million. Two defining tragedies, the collapse of a promising music career and ongoing racial discrimination in the industry, left her cautious and reserved. Now 46, Tatiana chooses to live a low-profile life focused on education and advocacy, away from the fame that once promised so much but delivered so many invisible wounds. Janet Hubert, who played Vivian Banks from 1990, carved a powerful image on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yet behind her commanding presence lay a life filled with pain and resentment. Forced to leave the show amid infamous tensions with Will Smith, Hubert's career never recovered fully. She married James Whitten but endured a tumultuous marriage that eventually collapsed, leaving her to raise their son Elijah alone under intense financial stress. Her modest home in the United States, now valued at about $400,000, along with personal memorabilia from her acting days, represents the bulk of her $4 million net worth. Hubert also suffered from a series of health issues, including osteoporosis, which sidelined her career for years. At 69 years old, she speaks candidly about her struggles with mental health and bitterness, surviving in an industry that she feels abandoned her after her brightest role dimmed. Karen Parsons, who portrayed Hilary Banks from 1990, struggled long after the cameras stopped rolling. Typecast and overlooked for serious roles, Parsons fought to redefine herself in an industry that often refused to let her grow. Her marriage to director Alexander Rockwell brought companionship but also periods of deep financial and emotional strain, especially while raising their two children, Lana and Nico, without the cushion of steady Hollywood work. Karen owns a modest home in Los Angeles, modest personal assets, and her net worth stands at approximately $1.5 million. Two major tragedies shaped her, losing her mother, a major source of strength, and the financial collapse of her nonprofit aimed at helping minority youth. Now 58, she lives far from the Hollywood spotlight, dedicating her time to writing children's books and nurturing a quieter, more grounded existence built on lessons learned from fame's fleeting embrace. DJ Jazzy Jeff, who played Jazz from 1990, seemed to embody joy and humor on screen, but behind the scenes, his journey was riddled with personal battles. While his partnership with Will Smith catapulted him into the limelight, their friendship faced many silent tensions over fame and fortune. Jeff married Lynette Jackson, and they share two children, Corey and Amir, but the marriage went through multiple separations before stabilizing somewhat in recent years. His Philadelphia house, valued at $900,000, along with luxury cars including a Lamborghini and a Tesla, make up most of his $10 million estate. However, Jeff's life has not been without hardship. He suffered a major health scare in 2020 when he battled double pneumonia and COVID-19, coming dangerously close to death. Now at 60 years old, Jazzy Jeff continues to produce music, quietly wrestling with the reality that fame does not always shield from life's deepest hardships. Daphne Reed, who portrayed Vivian Banks from 1993, embraced success on screen but wrestled with heartbreak off-screen. Reed's graceful portrayal brought her a second wave of fame, but it could not shield her from private sorrow, including a painful struggle with infertility that ended her dreams of motherhood. She married actor Tim Reed, but their relationship, while lasting, has often been described as complicated and rocky behind closed doors. Reed owns a beautiful colonial-style home in Petersburg, Virginia, currently valued at $600,000, and a modest collection of vintage jewelry and cars, pushing her total net worth to around $2 million. She also suffered a devastating car accident in her 40s, which left her with lingering injuries. At 76 years old, Reed continues to paint and occasionally acts, living a relatively peaceful but bittersweet life, never fully escaping the sadness that once haunted her brightest days. Nia Long, who portrayed Lisa Wilkes from 1991, became a household name thanks to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yet her journey has been marked by both triumph and heartache. After her role on the show, Nia's career flourished with roles in film and television, but her personal life was filled with struggle. She was in a long-term relationship with former NBA coach Ime Udoka, with whom she shares a son, Kez Sunday Udoka. Unfortunately, their engagement ended after a public scandal involving Udoka's infidelity. Nia's personal life has also been shaped by the loss of her father, which left her grappling with grief while balancing a career in the spotlight. She owns a beautiful home in Los Angeles, valued at around $3 million, and several luxury vehicles, bringing her net worth to approximately $13 million. At 54, Nia remains in the public eye, frequently reflecting on the pressure of maintaining an image of perfection while navigating the complexities of motherhood and single life. Tyra Banks, who portrayed Jackie Ames from 1993, rose to fame as a supermodel before stepping into acting, but her journey has been marked by both achievements and personal struggles. While her career skyrocketed, Tyra never married, but she had a son, York Banks Asla, through surrogacy, though her relationship with the father, Eric Asla, ended in separation. Despite her success, Tyra has often spoken about the challenges of body image and loneliness. She owns multiple properties, including a luxurious $7 million mansion in Los Angeles, and drives high-end cars such as Teslas and Bentleys, with her net worth reaching an impressive $90 million. However, she has faced the personal struggle of trying to balance her fame with a private life. Now 51 years old, Tyra continues to lead a private life, focusing on her business ventures and modeling empire, while trying to balance her personal happiness with her responsibilities as a single mother. Ross Baggley, who portrayed Little Nikki Banks from 1994, was once the adorable face of a beloved show, but adulthood brought struggles he could not have predicted. After early fame, Baggley found the transition out of child stardom brutal, falling into periods of depression and identity crisis. Although he pursued real estate and DJ work in Los Angeles, the shadow of being Nikki often loomed large. Ross has never married and has no children, often admitting in interviews to fears about forming stable relationships. His small apartment in Los Angeles, valued at around $300,000, along with a used SUV and some modest savings, contribute to his estimated $500,000 net worth. A near-fatal car accident in his late 20s marked one of the darkest chapters of his life. Now 36 years old, Baggley lives a quieter life, still searching for lasting success outside of the identity that the Fresh Prince built for him. Verernie Watson, who played Viola Vite Smith from 1990, had a career that spanned decades, but personal struggles took a heavy toll on her. While her role on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air brought her fame, Verernie faced deep personal challenges. Her 2 marriages ended in divorce, and she has 2 children, but raising them as a single mother while pursuing an acting career was no easy feat. Her finances often fluctuated, and she had to navigate tough economic times, but she persevered. Verernie owns a modest home in Los Angeles, valued around $1 million, and a few personal belongings, with a net worth estimated at $3 million. Life dealt her additional hardships, including a serious health crisis that tested her physical and emotional limits. Despite these battles, Verernie, now 75 years old, continues to work in voice acting and television, though much of her life remains relatively private as she finds solace in her family and work. Jim Meskman, who portrayed Weiner/Professor Jeremy Mansfield from 1993, never quite reached the level of fame he hoped for but has worked steadily in the industry. His personal life was marked by the strain of his career as he navigated the challenges of being married to actress Tamara Meskman, with whom he has a daughter, Taylor. Their relationship faced difficulties due to the pressures of his fluctuating career. Jim owns a modest home in California, valued at around $400,000, and has a small collection of cars, bringing his net worth to approximately $500,000. His major hardships include financial instability during the early years of his career, and the emotional toll of living in the shadow of bigger stars in Hollywood. Now 65 years old, Jim continues to work in smaller roles and voiceover projects, keeping a low profile while finding fulfillment in his craft, though often feeling the weight of unfulfilled expectations from his earlier years. Charlene Woodard, who played Janice in 1991, has had a distinguished career in theater and TV, but her personal life has been marked by heartache. Although The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air offered her another memorable role, her marriage to playwright Alan Michael Harris proved to be difficult. Their inability to have children deepened the strain on their relationship, ultimately leading to a painful separation. Woodard suffered a tremendous loss when her brother died suddenly, a trauma she carried with her for years. The grief of losing family and the personal struggles she faced led to her withdrawal from the public eye at times. With a net worth of around $2 million, she now resides in Los Angeles, where she continues her acting career while dealing with the emotional scars of her past. At 71, Woodard leads a quieter life, finding solace in her work and in writing, though she remains haunted by the family she lost and the relationships that couldn't withstand the pressures of her career. Jennifer Lewis, who played Aunt Helen from 1991, built a career as a comic actress, but her personal life has been deeply affected by both external and internal battles. While she never married, Jennifer adopted a daughter, Charmaine Lewis, and their bond has been both a source of joy and challenge. Jennifer's career helped her build financial stability, owning a home in Los Angeles worth around $800,000 and having a net worth of approximately $2 million. However, her life has been overshadowed by the trauma of childhood sexual abuse and struggles with bipolar disorder, which she later revealed publicly. These personal tragedies deeply affected her relationships, and despite her success, Jennifer has always fought to maintain balance in her mental health. Now 68 years old, she remains active in the entertainment industry, speaking openly about her struggles and inspiring others with her resilience. Michael Landis, who portrayed Chadney Hunt in 1990, seemed destined for fame but fell short of the career heights he once envisioned. Though his appearance in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was part of a promising start, his career faltered after being replaced on the popular TV series Lois and Clark, which led to a period of emotional turmoil. Landis married actress Wendy Benson, and they had 2 children, Mimi and Dominic, but their marriage was strained by long work trips and his chronic health problems, particularly from a severe car accident in his 30s. Today, Landis resides in Los Angeles, owning a comfortable home and several valuable possessions, with a net worth of around $1 million. Now 52 years old, he focuses on voiceover work and independent projects. Though still active in his career, Landis often reflects on the lost opportunities and personal sacrifices that kept him from the stardom he once hoped for. Brian Stokes Mitchell, who played Trevor in 1992, became a well-known Broadway star but faced numerous struggles outside the spotlight. While his role on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air helped raise his profile in TV, Mitchell's career didn't reach the sustained success he hoped for. His marriage to actress Alison Tucker produced one son, Ellington, but their relationship endured strains, especially due to his career demands and long absences. Despite his Broadway accolades, he faced vocal health issues, which led to his withdrawal from major projects. Although successful on stage, Mitchell has endured moments of loneliness, losing close friends over the years. He currently resides in a luxurious New York City home, enjoying a quieter life at 67. His net worth is around $4 million. Despite his fame, he remains privately reflective, focusing on family and occasional performances, but still grappling with unfulfilled dreams and missed opportunities. Garcelle Beauvais, who portrayed Sandra in 1992, seemed to live a glamorous Hollywood life, but behind the red carpets was deep emotional turmoil. Her guest spot on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air helped her transition into mainstream television, yet fame did not shield her from heartbreak. Beauvais married producer Daniel Saunders, with whom she had a son, Oliver, but the marriage ended in betrayal and divorce. Her second marriage to Mike Nyland also collapsed after a public scandal involving infidelity, even though they had twin boys, Jax and Jade. Twice wounded by love, Beauvais also battled depression silently while raising her children. She owns multiple properties, including a stylish home in Los Angeles, and drives several luxury cars. Her net worth is about $8 million. Now 58 years old, Garcelle remains active in Hollywood, bravely sharing her painful experiences while striving to heal through her career and motherhood. Michael Weiner, who portrayed Kellogg Lieberbaum in 1990, became a part of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air family during its early years. After The Fresh Prince, Michael chose to focus on a more private life, working in various smaller acting roles and occasionally appearing in television productions. His personal life, however, has had its own set of challenges. Michael faced struggles in his relationships and career, which led to periods of financial instability. He married later in life and has 2 children, though his marriage has faced significant hardships over the years, with the strain of balancing a family and career. Despite these challenges, Michael has persevered and now owns a home in Mansfield Township, New Jersey. His estate is valued at approximately $1 million, including personal belongings, a modest house, and some investments. At 50 years old in 2025, Michael continues to live quietly, with a focus on his family, and enjoys his private life away from the spotlight. Valentina Marie Lomborg, who played a campaign worker in 1991, never reached the fame her brief role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air suggested, and her life post-acting has been marked by struggles. After a short stint in TV, she married a local businessman, but their marriage quickly soured, ending in a bitter divorce. Lomborg, who had one son named David, found herself in constant emotional turmoil as her family fell apart. The loss of her childhood home in a fire left her emotionally scarred, further pushing her away from the public eye. Now living in Tampa Bay, Florida, Lomborg owns a modest home and has a modest lifestyle, with a net worth around $500,000. At 59, she is content with living quietly away from the spotlight, though her memories of both professional success and personal loss remain etched in her mind. Lomborg's life is one of unfulfilled potential, and her quiet existence reflects the pain of what might have been. Who's your favorite character from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? How does it make you feel knowing that some beloved cast members are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below, we'd love to hear from you. If you're enjoying our videos, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for being part of our community.